Okay. Okay,
There
great.
we go.
Recording has begun for this Rook community meeting of July 25th, 2023. I think we have a small agenda today. We'll start with our milestone checkup. We don't have anything planned for the 1.10 release. I think probably will have, a regular 1.11.10 release at some point, but I think these are probably starting to become a little less regular. This week or next, probably regularly. For 1.12, we did just release on July 18th. And yeah, I think 1.12.1 will probably come on Thursday. We have I think a couple PRs. Yeah, this is the main PR that we're looking at, is that the operator can panic when fencing a node under like conditions with like I guess like more custom PVCs. Yeah. Shubham is working on that. The stats from the huddle today was that I think he's waiting for reviews now. So I'll make sure to look at those. Is that something you can also take a look at, Alexander?
Sorry, which PR again?
12558, this panic when operator is fencing a node. Or I guess that's not the PR, that's the
issue. Sure, let me just open it up on my phone and I'll take a look at it in a moment.
12563 is the actual PR.
12563.
Yeah. But Madhu's been leading the SEF CSI efforts for quite some time and has approved it, so I assume things look pretty good.
I'll take a look at it either now if I have a few minutes or later.
Okay. Yeah, those are the only things that we have on the project board right now that are in the blocking release. I don't think there's been anything. This is reviewing how that got mixed back. It would be nice to get that one in as well, but it certainly doesn't need to block the release. It's for a like very niche object multi-site use case. Yeah, are there any other thoughts around the 1.12 release or any other things ongoing that I might have missed? I think silence is good there. I also see that we have a community member, Daniel, here, who's posted an issue in the community topics. Daniel, do you want to introduce yourself and introduce the topic?
Sure. Howdy, my name is Daniel Hicks. I currently work as an infrastructure engineer at CoreWeave. I'm a part of the storage team, and we run the Rook operator to manage SEF CSI. We have been chasing a bug where we have what we call zombie mounts on nodes, where there is the global mount staging mount on each node. And you will commonly see an error, as I put there, where they get device mount refs check for volume, and it will give information about a specific PVC, where it can't unmount because there's a mount reference to the said global staging volume mount. But the issue is that this means it will never get unmounted because this check is what's checking and stopping kubelet from calling node unstaged volume inside this FCSI, which is what cleans up said reference. This has some issues with CephFS since there's usually a kernel client associated with the mount into CephFS. And we've had issues where this kernel client can say get exclusive locks on folders and files. And then the pods will go away and there's absolutely no way to clean it up besides hopping onto node and unmounting the volume by hand. But this poses an issue though, that we still get this error inside of kubelet because that reference is always present. Even after. It used to be thought that we could replicate it by booting up 2 pods in the same node with a reference to the same PVC, but we've also found that it just happens with a single pod as well. And this is like a brand new PVC.
Did you try to see if maybe Madhu can add some input on the issue? He's the one of the Ceph CSI people. Maybe it's like something with Ceph CSI.
I've found issues inside of Ceph CSI related to this as well, and it links back to a kubelet bug, and then the kubelet bug was closed due to staleness. And they closed the Ceph CSI issue because it was a kubelet problem.
Okay, so the so the typical cycle, I guess, for weird bugs. Let's put it in that category.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm currently digging through kubelet to try to find a fix for this. I was suggested to attend to see if anyone with more knowledge around this interaction had any ideas, and I can also link the issues as well.
If you could add the links to the agenda item, that would be good.
Yes.
I would basically keep my, I guess, advice here. If you can post it in the Ceph CSI channel as well. Madhu, M-A-D-H-U written, I think, if I remember correctly, sorry. He's said like the Ceph CSI person, that Ceph CSI person from what I know. So maybe he has some input or like is in some way able to help you further there. I guess besides that, I don't know if there's like a CSI stick group. But if there is, maybe it's worth trying to see if anyone there is like from the kubelet team or storage Kubernetes team then. If they are able to like revive the issue. But like I don't know yet if kubelet if the kubelet issue was, well, as you said, just closed because nobody worked on it, fixed it, or because it was, well, stale and nobody found a fix yet, I guess.
Yeah, I had reached out on the Kubernetes Slack to ask questions, and I was informed that it is a very interesting bug. And that likely unless we had some form of support contract with Red Hat, that it would likely not get worked on.
You asked on I didn't know Red Hat is okay. Well, but probably a misunderstanding from now there. But
yeah, from what I understand, they have people specifically on their I believe the Ceph side of them that work on interactions with Kubernetes.
Got it. Yeah, so I guess advice still stands. If you try to reach out to Madhu, maybe he can like he is at least a Ceph CSI person, so I think he has connections with the people from CSI. Hopefully, maybe then someone from the kubelet storage team, or Kubernetes storage in general that can help you there. I said I would try to post it on Slack and on the Rook Slack and Ceph CSI, and hope that Madhu responds to it. Yeah.
Okay.
If not, feel free to bring it up like in another community meeting as well again. Maybe the right person is the right place, or maybe like someone else just takes a look at it and I guess maybe sees the obvious, or like the, as with when you're debugging something.
Sure.
Yeah, certainly Madhu is the best person to talk to about this issue. And yeah, I mean, Madhu also has like direct contacts with other people as well. Yeah, also if you could put a link to the CSI bug as well, just to help
Sure.
with us like following up.
Let me dig through I'll dig through that issue since it's referenced there, and I'll find it.
Yeah, and that is certainly it is certainly interesting. I will give it that. And curious that this hasn't been like, I mean, this obviously has been reported before, but it hasn't been reported more often. I wonder if there are configurations that make this case less likely to occur.
From the issue that I had seen, Ceph CSI seems to be super specific, and it implements the node on stage volume endpoint, and a lot of other CSIs do not. And so this seems like it might be a Ceph CSI specific issue just because it implements that endpoint. And so it's not super common.
Right. I think that's probably by virtue of it using the kernel driver. You could potentially try working around the issue by using the user space driver. I think those user space drivers do have a little bit less throughput. So if you have like bandwidth sensitive applications that may not be like, that's certainly not ideal, but if this is blocking things from proceeding at all, that could be an option.
Yeah, we already have issues with throughput not being super great.
Okay.
So the main thing that causes issues is just we already have blocking issues with FFS, and so this sort of compounds it when it's not super obvious where the client blocking is, and it's causes just an exponential spew of errors inside of kubelet.
Interesting. Yeah, definitely. I can also reach out to Madhu and like mention these as well. I mean, I would encourage you to as well.
Yeah, I'll find them in the Slack.
Okay. That sounds really great. And yeah, I think any information that you have about your system that can help with like figuring out what might be causing the issue could be helpful. Like things like kernel version and things like that. Like, yeah, just I think generally all of the information that you can give is helpful.
That's all I had. I really just poked in here to see if anybody else had either experienced it or had some form of experience with it. So
Yeah, I think unfortunately not, but hopefully we can help get it resolved still.
But the references are now pointing to Madhu, you know. Yeah, yes. Let's see. Maybe people hit this, but it's, you know, like they don't really realize it, depending on like what the effect really is in the end.
Yeah.
I guess how I would put it, for example, I don't know if it's necessarily kubelet or CSI or whoever they're messing up, depending on how you see it. But when volume mount folders are left over for whatever reason, and kubelet starts to print out like a log line every 5 seconds of like, hey, there's leftover volume folders, and it's for most people that's just a few more log lines they don't care about, and that's not really an effect, you know. So it depends on how affected people would be by this.
The specifically You'd specifically
Yeah.
only really ever notice this if it's like for in our example, we have the kernel client that's specifically
Mhm.
in the leftover mount that's hanging things up. If you
Okay.
if you don't ever see that, then realistically, yeah, this would just be a couple of log lines that you can ignore.
So I think someone wanted to add something, I guess, or yeah. Okay. Nope. Okay.
Yeah, I think Daniel's the only person in the call that I don't recognize from our normal huddles. Certainly, if anyone has any other topics they want to bring up or questions, feel free. This is definitely the time. Sweet, sweet sound of silence. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, Daniel. We really do like hearing from users. Even, I mean, I know this is not like a great a great issue that you're having, but it's good to see users getting engaged and that we can help you out. And
No worries.
I guess that concludes our July 25th meeting, and I'll follow up with Jared to figure out how to get this video recording posted.
I think that Jared can only do that, but
Okay,
he'll be able to.
cool. All right. Thanks, everyone, and have a great day.
Thanks.
Bye.
See ya.